Somewhere in Egypt, there is an empty patch of land. No plaque, no ruins, no warning sign. But 2,000 years ago, this spot held the largest concentration of human knowledge ever seen, before being subjected to a near-total erasure. In this building, scholars were documenting the exact principles of geometry and planetary scale that would later allow us to navigate the stars. These were the first mathematical steps toward the moon, taken in an era of papyrus and ink. Today, that entire body of work is gone, and while it is one of history's greatest losses, historians still cannot agree on who is actually responsible for the crime. The list of suspects ranges from Roman generals to religious mobs. We're going to look past the myths to identify the real killer. Identifying the true cause of this destruction changes the way you look at a modern library or a digital server farm. Following the death of Alexander the Great, his general, Ptolemy, took control of Egypt. He decided to build an empire on intellectual dominance, turning Alexandria into the world's primary collection point for every idea humanity had ever produced. Ptolemy's officials searched every ship that docked in the harbor. If they found a scroll, they confiscated it and made a copy. More often than not, the library kept the original and sent the copy back to the ship. This chart shows the scale of the resulting collection. While ancient writers claimed it reached 700,000 scrolls, modern historians estimate a smaller but still massive number that represented the vast majority of the era's recorded thought. The Egyptian state funded the complex as a total research institute, housing dissection labs, botanical gardens, and astronomical observatories alongside the scrolls. For the first time, humanity had engineered a centralized, universal information network, the ancient world's version of the internet. Euclid sat in these halls and wrote down the rules of geometry so precisely that his work remained the standard textbook for 2,000 years. Another scholar, Eratosthenes, calculated the circumference of the Earth using only the angle of shadows in two cities. His calculation was within 1% of modern GPS values, a level of precision achieved centuries before the telescope. Doctors here were mapping the human nervous system, while translators preserved the histories of entire civilizations that have since vanished. Because printing didn't exist, the survival of these discoveries relied on a single scholar making a physical copy. If that one scroll was lost, the idea itself was erased. The popular story says Julius Caesar burned it to the ground in 48 BC during a battle in the harbor. Historical evidence suggests otherwise. While Caesar's fire did destroy a collection of books stored near the docks, the main library and its scholars were unharmed. This timeline shows records of prominent scholars working in the library for centuries after Caesar's fire. The institution didn't vanish in a single afternoon. The real cause of death was a slow erosion. Slashed funding, political instability, and changing cultural priorities caused the building to decay and the scholars to leave. Systemic neglect is a far more unsettling killer than a single fire, because it happens in silence. Because so much was never copied, we have no way to measure what we lost. We only know the titles of plays and the names of theories that no longer exist. If only 1% of our current digital records survived the next 1,000 years, future historians would struggle to understand our world. Alexandria's loss turned ancient history into a black hole. While it's often claimed this set humanity back 1,000 years, that's an exaggeration. Science and math continue to advance in other hubs like Baghdad, Rome, and India. Human progress didn't stop, but the specific, unique genius of the individuals in that building was erased. Ideas do not automatically reappear once they are lost. When an uncopied scroll decays, the specific thought it contained is gone forever. The lesson of Alexandria is that great tragedies are rarely loud explosions. They are quiet fade-outs that happen when a society assumes someone else is protecting the foundation of their knowledge. If you could recover just one lost book or indention from the ancient world, what would it be? Let me know in the comments. Knowledge is fragile. Its survival requires active protection, or eventually, it simply won't be there anymore.